There is a very popular trap that I see a lot of people getting caught up in, and even myself included. I've gotten caught up in this trap. This trap is the belief, the idea that a future event, a future situation, a future outcome is going to make you happy, basically distracting you from this moment right now. A lot of us believe that the more we have, the happier we'll be. Or we can't be happy until we get that promotion, or that we get that job, or we get that thing. Maybe it's a house, maybe it's a partner. But the fascinating thing is that the things that we want, especially a relationship, consider this really the theme of a relationship. I'll be happy. I'll finally be happy when I get that relationship. So now you're relying on somebody else to make you happy. Yeah, that's not healthy. It's fucked up, actually. But the other fascinating thing about this, too, is that majority of the time, whenever you think that you're going to be happy, finally, when that thing comes along, a majority of the time, what really happens is that it's actually not as delicious as you thought it would be previously. And then, with that, you actually just spent a bunch of years in waiting mode, thinking that the future would rescue you from whatever distasteful moment you were in. And this is a trap because the way that I look at it, even in my own life, there was a point in time in the past 2 years when I reflected and I looked over a decade of my life, and I was like, wow, I regret a lot of the ways that I approached things. I actually wish that I could go back and do things differently. And it's important to be able to reflect on life like that and to actually see things and be like, not so sure about those brushstrokes. I'd rather choose finer ones with more intricate detail. Wonderful. I'll finally be happy when I get this or that. The fascinating thing that I've learned about this entire dynamic is that, well, let me explain this real quick because it's very important to understand. Everything in this known universe, this has been proven in science, everything in this known universe, including you and I, is energy. Attraction is a real thing. And when I say that, I don't just mean like looking at, a pretty face and being like, ooh, ooh. No, what I mean is that energy attracts energy, like attracts like. So if you're operating from a place of thinking that something in the future, something out there will make you happy, that's the energetic signature you're putting off. So you're actually attracting the opposite of what it is that you're looking for. You're attracting things that consist of the same energetic signature that you entail. You're far less likely to attract an event of happiness because you're not operating from a place of happiness. You're operating from a place of waiting. Happiness is not within you. You would attract happiness when you're happy. Happiness is not within you when you're operating from a place of waiting for a future situation to make you happy. No. You're operating from a place of lack and a place of waiting. And it's a trap because then what happens is you spend a bunch of years looking at a future occasion that you think is going to make you happy, but you're not actually feeling happy. You're in this mode of waiting. And you're thinking that that person or that thing or whatever it is going to make you happy. And then it ends up just not being as delicious as you thought it would. Oh, they smell bad. Oh, they do this and I don't like it. Oh, yeah. it's absolutely wild. I see people all the time getting caught up in the trap that they're going to wait for the future to get something, whether it's a person, a thing, an event, a job, a house, a car. Oh, I'm going to wait for the future because then in that future moment, I'll have that car and that will mask my insecurities and then I'll feel better about myself and I won't feel so shitty about myself and then people will actually like me. Listen to the dialogue. Listen to the dialogue. Or I should say the monologue in that sense. But it's fascinating when you actually observe it from afar, separate yourself from it, observe it from afar, and witness you moving throughout this environment where you're just like, wow, I'm thinking this way that is based in lack. so I'm going to attract lack. There is an abundance of lack, so I'm going to attract more of that. How am I operating? I'm operating thinking that something in the future, which is actually an illusion, because time in and of itself is an illusion, a construct in which we created to make sense of this whole 3D time and space reality. I can feel happiness within myself right now, and because like attracts like, I can attract happiness, or I can attract something or someone, specifically a sentient being, someone that is happy. You're not going to attract somebody that is happy if you're not happy. You might attract somebody that wants to fix you because they have that mommy and daddy fucked upness vibe, but you're not going to attract somebody that is happy. So if you find yourself stuck in this dynamic, stuck in this pattern where you're trying to wait for a future event because you'll be happy when you get this or that, see it from afar. And with the reality of energy and the way that energy works and the way that attraction works, the law of attraction, like this is an actual thing. Like attracts like. Somebody that is happy and emotionally healthy, unless they're a therapist, they're likely not going to have anything to do with somebody that is unhappy and emotionally unhealthy. Like attracts like. People that are miserable attract other people that are miserable to complain about life. People that are happy attract other people that are happy to come together and celebrate life. So if you're operating from a place of, I'll be happy when I get, understand that you're operating from an energetic signature of lack, an energetic signature of unhappiness, an energetic signature of, I expect the external to make me happy. Rather than realizing that as an inside job where you actually take care of your own happiness, you take time to yourself. You recognize the things that are actually important to you, the things that you value, the things that bring you to life, that wake you up in the morning and just excite you. There's a difference between those two energetic dynamics. One of them is operating from a place of lack, a place of waiting. From what I've learned about waiting, I've recognized that it is a toxic and unhealthy dynamic because, I mean, I understand that you need money for things, but for other things, you don't need to wait. You can start. And when I say start, I'm going to focus on a specific thing here. Feeling, your emotions are energy. When you focus on your emotional state and focus on cultivating an emotional state that is elevated, you are far more likely to attract people, things, and events based on that. Because like attracts like. That's the way that that works. But just understanding the most important thing here is that it is a trap. And it is comfortable. And it is probably familiar for a lot of people to wait and be like, I'll be happy when I get XYZ. And you'll spend years in that if you choose to stay there. And you'll wake up at some point in your life way down the line and be like, wow, yeah, it wasn't delicious. It really wasn't. Definitely not as delicious as I thought it would be. I spent 10, 20, 30, 40 years looking outside of me for something that I actually didn't realize was inside of me. I'll end off with this just to make it very clear. You can operate from a place of waiting. You can operate from a place of, I'll be happy when I get XYZ. Really referring to thinking that something in the future, something out there will make you happy and you're going to wait to experience happiness based on that. You can operate there. That's fine. It's not good or bad or right or wrong. The question is, do you want to wake up down the line with a fuck ton of regret because you live from a place of lack? Or you can transform your entire energetic dynamic and instead of focusing on the external, bring all of your focus, awareness, and energy back to yourself, into your body. Recognize that you're actually responsible for your own happiness. Transforming your energy inside. feeling all of these beautiful elevated emotions, love, joy, peace, euphoria, gratitude, abundance, actually recognizing that you can be happy right now. You can. Meditate yourself there. And then with that, you actually attract more experiences based on what it is that in the first one you were looking for. I'll be happy when I get. You'll be sustainably happy when you get grounded with yourself. Get happy with yourself. That's when you transform yourself.